I'm Monica Young, and I'm with CGRS, and we're an environmental consulting firm, and I'm a project manager at CGRS. And it's funny, sometimes people come up to you and say, oh, it's Earth Day, what are you going to do for Earth Day? I go, well, I think I'm doing something for Earth Day every day I go to work because we're cleaning up the environment. So that's a good thing, and I work with a lot of good people. We all get along really well, and so it's been really fun. There was one project I worked on, and they had a line, one of their product lines had corroded, so they had a release of gasoline into the soil and groundwater, so we had to clean that up. So I actually helped drill some of the wells, and while you're drilling the well, you're collecting the soil samples and describing the soils and whatnot, so I actually helped do that on some of the wells when we were too busy, we didn't have enough field techs out to help us. But we also had to work with the community, because this business was nestled right alongside, like, here's their business, an alley, and then it's all the residential homes. And it was in an older community, like the homes are built, 70 years ago or something, so it's all really, the homes are so cool, Victorian style homes, but they're all right next to each other. There's hardly any space in between the homes. So we had to design the system to horizontal bore under this one property, not under their home, but they had like their driveway, and so boring under their driveway so we could get to the street that was further beyond, following the plume and working with all the property owners and getting out there and, supervising sometimes the install. I had a field foreman who was doing a lot of the supervision for me, but coming out and dealing with the property owners, so that was really interesting. And I did have another site in the Denver area that when we were putting in the remediation system for that site, I was out there. I had a field foreman out there, so he was supervising some of the construction work that was going on, because we had to dig trenches and this and that and the other. So I was helping drill the remediation wells. So I'm at the tailgate of our pickup truck at the soil core, so I'm going through it, looking at it and describing the soils, and my field foreman comes up to me, goes, Monica, we hit the gas line. I go, oh, no, you didn't. And I keep going back to work. And he goes, Monica, we hit the gas line. Oh, no, you're just joking me. You're just pulling my chain, So I just keep on working, and the drillers are drilling. He goes, Monica, we hit the gas line. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, he's not leaving. He looks really serious. And I'm like, are you serious? Yes. I'm like, oh no. So luckily it was just a little gas line, but quickly we called, UNCC, and then they got Excel out there. We repaired it, and everything was fine, but that was funny. And one time, I wasn't out drilling, but one of our field techs was drilling a site for me, and we have what we call a PID meter, and we're using it once you collect your soil sample. It helps to see how much how much hydrocarbons you have in the soil vapors. And so sometimes you have a setting, and then if it goes over that setting, it beeps. Well, there were a lot of drunks. It was the morning, and the drunks from the night before were hanging out. So her PID starts beeping, and they're like, it's radioactive, and they start running in all directions. So that was funny. And then another site I had in the Montrose area, we were drilling. And so we were drilling, and then we hit an empty pocket, and we're like, what's this all about? And then one of the city personnel had come by, goes, oh, that's the underground tunnel. Because back in the day, they still have all these underground tunnels under the street, but back in the day, like from this building to get to that building, they had these underground tunnels for the prostitutes to go through. So we get all kind of stories out there. First, when I was growing up, I wanted to be a secretary. Went to a business college and became a legal secretary after that. And after doing that for about 10 and a half years full-time, I decided I wanted to change careers and do something for the environment and help clean up the environment. So I worked full-time, and then I went to school, I worked part-time and then went to school full-time for 2 more years. And then it was time to move from the community college to the 4-year school, university or something. So I ended up moving out to Colorado. One of my friends had moved back to Colorado, and he said, "You should come out here." And I thought, what a better time when you're in school to come out here than if you don't like it after you graduate, you can always leave, versus if you came here for a job and then you found out you didn't like it. So I was able to get into CSU, and I first attended CSU as an environmental health student, and then I found out that that was more industrial hygiene, so I decided, or actually one of my classmates had told me about environmental soil science that was a concentration in the soil and crops department. So I transferred over to that and got my bachelor's in soil and crop sciences with a concentration in environmental soil science. And just before I graduated, I was able to get a job with EPA. So I worked at EPA for 4.5 years in their leaking underground storage tank program. But after being with EPA, I thought, it's great working in the regulatory arena, but I wanted to really get my hands dirty, so I wanted to go into the private industry. So luckily, I was able to get a job with CGRS up in Fort Collins. So I clean up sites, the soil and groundwater that has been contaminated with gasoline or diesel. I do other things too, but that's like maybe 80 or 90% of my position. I do phase 1s, phase 2s, SPCC plans, and things of that nature. It's been really fun. It's been challenging, but I really enjoy my job, and I feel like we're making an impact.